Good evening, everybody. I'm going to show you quickly how to play Tobal No. 1 on your Mac computer. I'm running the new OS Mavericks. So there's three parts to this. The first is you need to download a Tobal No. 1 disk image. The second thing is you need to unpack that image properly, or prepare it, if you will. And the third is you need a program to play it on. So those are the three steps. So let's start with step number 1, where to find the disk image. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is open up a web browser. And I'm just going to use Safari because, like we said, this is for Mac. And you're going to want to go to this web address right here. emuparadise.me, Sony PlayStation ISOs, games starting with T. And then once you are on this web page, you're going to want to search for, all the way down the T's, you guessed it, Tobal No. 1. Now, if you take a look at the listing here, there's three different Tobal No. 1s. There's Tobal No. 1E, J, and U. You can see by the color of the link here that I've already visited E. So let's just see what happens if we click on U. Zoom on here. And we get this screen here. And just a nice screenshot there. And we come all the way down to direct download links. So you're going to want to click on the link. And forget all this business here. You just want to come down to Tobal No. 1 and click on that. And if you look up here, it should have started downloading right there. Okay, so we've downloaded our disk image, which we can see right over here. Zoom in a little bit. And so the first thing we have to do is expand it. So let's do that right now. Double click. And we should, there we go. So if you don't have a file, or sorry, if you don't have the program to unzip this, you're going to want to download Stuff It. All right, it's a good tool. You should have it. Fantastic. And where did it download to? Oh, here we are right here. So we have this folder, so we'll open this guy up. Whoops. There she is. So now take a look at what we have here. So in this particular disk image, we have 4 different files. 2 most important ones are the .que and the .img.ecm. Now, this will not play in a emulator right now. We need to do one thing, and that's very, very important, and that is un-ECM this file. So when this file became a .ecm file, it was compressed dramatically. Now we need to uncompress it. But for whatever reason, we didn't use, or whoever prepared this disk image didn't use a standard compression. I'm sure there's very, very good reasons for that. I have no idea what they are. So how are we going to prepare this so that it plays in our emulator? Well, we need the correct program. Let me just close that. And there's two different ones that can handle ECM files. One of them is a program that's available in the App Store titled ECM, and it's free. So if you, I just recommend downloading this no matter what. It's a very small program, and it's very, very nice to have on your computer. Unfortunately, if we open it up here, and let's do that, applications, ECM. Okay. If we drag this guy in here, there we go. And we'll click this guy here. Let's just zoom in a little bit so everybody can see. So we dragged our .img.ecm into here. And I'm showing you something that won't work. Don't ask me why. And we tell it what we want to export it to. It will give us a list of things that we can export it to. But you'll notice that none of these are a .img. So it's not going to work. So we can't use this program, even though it's an excellent program. So we're going to go cancel. Zoom back out. I'm going to close this program down. we need to do something else. So there's another way to un-ECM those types of files, and that is using a command line program, which is available at this URL. Okay, neilcorlett.com/command pack. And if you take a look here, precompiled binaries, what you want is basically the most up-to-date. This is the one right here. All right. And once you have downloaded that, it doesn't take very long, you will find a folder full of these. Now, this took me a little while. This is basically a whole bunch of different command line tools that this guy Neil Corlett has made. But the one that the only one in here that we care about is un-ECM, right here. Un-ECM. Okay. So how do we run this? This is a little complicated. I'm going to close this for now. Okay, so there's a few things we want to do to make our life easier in the next few moments for using the un-ECM command line program. And the first thing we're going to want to do is go over and grab our tobalnumber1.img.ecm and drag it directly into this folder. This is going to make our life a lot easier in just a few minutes. The other thing we're going to want to do is we want to rename this file. So if you look, there's all sorts of, there's spaces and there's special characters, and we just want to make it easier on us and in life in general. So we're going to rename this back in a moment, but for now, we're just going to call it tobal.img.ecm. Okay. So now we want to open up terminal, go command space and type in terminal. Boom. And there it is. Okay. Open it up. Great. So we want to, first thing we have to do is navigate our way through terminal into this folder. And this is really, really easy. All you do is type cd space, grab the folder, drop it in here. That's going to pull up the address, which is great. Then just hit enter, boom. And now we're in this, now we're inside the folder. So now we have access to all of these programs. So how do we run the un-ECM program? /un-ECM. And then we want to type in the name of our file that we're un-ECMing, which is tobal.img.ecm. Okay, just make this really clear so you can see it. Okay, /un-ECM, and then the name of our file, tobal.img.ecm. And let's see what happens if we hit enter. You can see it's beginning to decode. We'll just sit here and chill out while it does this. Boom, and it's done. So now we can close terminal. Boop. And if you take a look back in our file here, we've got our original file, and then we've got this tobal.img. So let's grab both of these and drag them back into their original folder just to keep this folder nice and clean. Shut this window. Don't need this anymore at all. And now we need to rename our file, our new Tobal IMG file, to be the same as these. And I'll show you why in just one second. The easiest way to do this, just grab this, copy, paste, boom. Okay, so why is it important to rename this so that it's exactly the same as these other files? I'll show you. If we open up the .que file, and for this you want a text editor, so open with text edit. Whoops. You can see that it's looking for Tobal number 1 blah, 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 .img. So we want it to make sure that that img file is named precisely as what the .que file is looking for. Okay, so we can close that. And now we are ready to run this in our emulator. So generally, I recommend that for anybody who's going to be playing any old games that you use OpenEmu, which is a brand new emulator, and it works like amazing. It's so good. It kind of blows your mind. Actually, it'll shock you. The one thing that's a bit of a problem is some PlayStation games, if they have a really high frame rate, then the quality is not hot yet. Like I said, it's a brand new emulator, and so some support isn't quite there just yet. But I expect them to really come around because it seems like a really, really excellent project, and I highly recommend you download this if you haven't already. I'll give you an example of what Tobal No. 1 looks like in this emulator, so you can get a sense of why the other choice is going to be so good. Okay, so this will give you an idea of why this doesn't work great for this. Okay, so you can kind of see the movement there, how the line. I don't know what that is, but I think it's basically the emulator not being able to handle how smooth this game plays in. Because the Tobal is 60 frames per second, and I don't think this emulator can quite grasp that as of yet. Anyway, so this is why this is not a great choice. Although it plays very, very smoothly, but just the looks-wise, it's not perfect. So what's the better choice? Yeah, we'll quit this. Instead, I recommend a emulator called PSX Reloaded, and if you go to this URL, psxr.codeplex.com, releases view 111309, you can download it. So they make this for all sort of different systems, Windows, and who knows what that is. But there's the Mac OS X, so you're going to want to download that. And then once you do and unzip it, actually, let's just undo it right now. We're downloading. And it's very, very quick to download, which is great. Where are you? There we go. It's right up here. psxr.zip. Open it up. And we get the program. Boom. Just right there. Nothing else to do, so you can drag that into your applications folder. All right. I've actually already done that, so I'm just going to get rid of these. Boom. And here we are right here. Whoops. PSXR. Open that up. There we go. And now if we just go up to File, Run ISO. Okay. You want to click on Run ISO. There's also, I'll just show you the best settings for Tobal that I've found. Here we go. So if you take a look here, you want DynoRec CPU core, fast boot. Click on plugins, soft GL driver. Click configure. Use frame skipping. Enable hacks, and then use PC FPS calculation. I don't know what any of this really means or why it works, but this has just been the smoothest that I've found. Okay, so I would recommend it. Click OK. Okay, so if we go to File, Run ISO, File, Run ISO. And then we want to navigate our way to your folder. So mine was just on my desktop. Here it is, and double click the IMG file. Now the one thing about the settings that I had it set to is it will blast through full motion video. Okay, and then we're gonna pick one of our guys here. And I've turned down the sound all the way because this audio track actually just like completely screws up, but it's as good as it's ever gonna get on a Mac, at least for right now. And yeah, if you take a look, the gameplay is super smooth. There's no real slowdown at all. But again, with these settings, you're going to have a couple of problems. One is some of the sound is really messed up, and two, it just blasts through any pre-rendered video. But that's as good as it's going to get for Tobal on Mac right now.